Hello friends, welcome to day 2 of the 21 days of purpose and leadership. I'm excited to come to your space today to talk about purpose and leadership. And I just want to see one person coming in very quickly, then we kick off today's session. It's extremely exciting just to share with you on purpose and leadership. Wow. Lovely. I see one person and I play to the audience of one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're continuing the conversation about purpose and leadership. And one of the big things that I want to really put out here is that yesterday's discussion was so powerful, and I had several people just reaching out to me to say how important it was and how it was so in tune with the season that they are in and the kind of things that they feel that they need to do at this space in their time. And I want to appreciate all of you for tuning in. This is a quick recap if you're joining us for the first time. Yesterday we talked about purpose. And what is purpose? We said purpose is really the reason for your existence. It is the reason why you're alive. It is why God made you. You are created as a solution to a problem. There is something that was happening when you are created, and God was like, I'm going to create someone who is going to be able to do this and that. And that is why you are created. Purpose is really the answer to why are you on earth. It's the answer to why did God make you. It's the answer to what problem have you been created to solve. That is what your purpose is all about. And I want to talk about that even as we go into day 2. Yesterday, I shared about, the 4 emotions that you feel through the purpose journey. And you can look at yesterday's post. I also talked about how you can discover that you're not living in the area of your calling or your purpose. You're living below your potential. And that is just a nag within you. Just a discomfort. A restlessness that tells you are not where you're supposed to be. And that is because as humans, we're designed for full expression. Our spirit desires and craves for full expression, to be everything that we were created to be. Today, I want to talk about a very critical component of the purpose journey, and it is how do you know your purpose? And you begin by this very important step, which is to identify and know who you are. I did an experiment a few weeks ago where I got about 80 people in my WhatsApp group who are friends, and I just randomly asked them the question, who are you? Many of them told me, I'm humble, I am, resilient, I am a banker, they gave me all types of titles, things about what they do in life, or how other people kind of come across to them and say, wow, this is who you are, you're a nice person. Some people told me I'm a nice person, I'm this. They gave me all the niceties, and that was good. I see the point for that. Yes, there's a point for that. But this is the thing. I challenged them, and I think about out of 80 of them, only probably one person really got the gist of it. And that person, I've had a kind of coaching session with them before. But the question about who are you? If I would ask you that question and ask you to answer and write somewhere, who are you? How would you define yourself? Mostly from the research I did, I saw that many people are describing themselves with things about what they do in life and what they have been told by other people they are, but they never define themselves as a person with gifts, talents, and abilities in a certain area. Let me introduce myself so that you probably know the gist of who I am. My name is Benjamin Kamoye, and I am a creative communicator. That's who I am. Now, what I do is a different story. And the point of this is this. Who you are is not what you do. Who you are is who God made you to be. You remember yesterday we talked about conception. When you were conceived in your mother's womb, God had a concept, something he was working on. And as he was working on, he was putting in abilities. And yes, Salome, it's so nice to see you. And so God was putting in abilities and talents, and he wired certain, things inside of you, and that is who you are. Even before you started living out who you are, the abilities and talents, God already wired in you certain abilities, and you need to know what they are, because that is who you are. I shared this with someone. I told them, you see, who you are does not change, but what you do will keep changing in life. But what you do keeps changing in life, but it keeps tapping into those key abilities. John Robinson, thank you so much for tuning in. Those abilities continue to be called upon in order for you to live out your uniqueness and be who God created you to be. So my challenge for you today is really for you to begin to think about who you are. Now, I know most of you coming onto this platform have already been out there in the world. You've done amazing things. You've succeeded at a high level. Thank you. But I do continue to notice that articulating with great clarity and awareness who you are is very important in the purpose journey. Because as we shift and turn in different seasons in life that God puts us in, we begin to see our relevance in those situations by bringing what we have already been wired with to the table. I can tell you many seasons in my life where I have played different roles. But every time, every role I played called from within me the gifts of creativity, the gifts of communication, the gifts of leadership, the gifts of helps, and the experiences that I've gone through in life have helped to sharpen my gift mix. And so the purpose conversation should begin by you articulating clearly, who are you? And that means taking a mirror and looking deep within yourself and say, Benjamin, who are you? Who are you? Forget about what you do and thank God for that. But who are you? Are you creative? Are you analytical? Are you a strategist? Are you a communicator? Are you a synthesizer of information? What abilities power you to excel? Because that is who God made you to be. You see, I tell people I'm a creative communicator. So today you'll see me with one of my clients. We're sitting down in a meeting to talk about brand strategy, to talk about design, to talk about how are they going to move their organization forward as far as marketing is concerned. I'm a creative. I'm in that space as a creative. And then at other times, you're going to find me like now on Facebook Live. You'll find me in a training. You'll find me on a stage. I'm speaking to people about leadership, about purpose, about achieving, about potential. And you'll say, wait, why is this guy, it's like a marketing guy on stage. Why is it? No, I am just living out my abilities. I'm a communicator. I'm a creative. And so in different spaces that I go to, I overflow and deliver that which is within me. That's who I am. So I'm very clear about who I am, and I'm not confused about titles. So every time I will introduce myself, I'll say, my name is Benjamin Kamoya. I'm gifted as a creative communicator, and I express those abilities as. And that's where I want people to know who I am. Number one, I run a graphic design agency. It's called In Your Face Advertising. And I'm a speaker, coach, and trainer certified with the John Maxwell team. You see how easily I'm flowing into different spaces and serving from a place of my gifts and my calling and abilities. But now there's a bigger purpose of I know what it is that God has created me to do. Thanks so much, Ivy. It's good to see you, my friend. And I'm so excited to share with you some ideas on how do you really identify who it is that you are. Now, I know most of us probably who are joining us here, you've probably written CVs and CVs upon CVs, and you have a very clear CV of what it is that you have done in the past, organizations that you have been in. I want to tell you that there in your CV lies the gems of who it is that you are. What do I mean by that? I mean the successes that you've had in the past. The things that you shout about in your CV and in different places and say, hey, I've been here and I helped these people to do this and that and the other. And in my time there, they succeeded because of this and that. I want you to peel the mask, uncover, go beyond and say, why did I deliver this at a high level? What is it that I had that made these people succeed? If, for instance, you'd say, I went into the company and I helped them raise their sales from 5% to 35%, and we bagged in 4 clients that year. What is it that you did that made them get those sales? That's the first question to ask. But also further, behind that question, as we peel that onion, is to ask, what skill powered you to deliver those results? I'm loving this. What skill powered you to deliver those results? Is it that you're a good communicator and therefore getting in front of people and just, charming them with your presence and with your eloquence and with everything that you have? Just a great communicator and you got the sales. Is that it? Is it that you went out there and you had this project that you were working on and these guys were not clear about what they need to do, and you went in there and you're gifted as a synthesizer and you saw all the complex information and you started breaking it down into small pieces and you have an easy way of presenting it? And guys are like, wow, we've talking about this thing and we've never said it. He looks like, how did you get? I mean, how did you explain that? You're operating in the area of your gift. You're operating in the area of your skill and ability. And I want you to be very clear about what that is. So this is my assignment for you today. Go back into your CV. Look at where you succeeded. Ask, what did I do to succeed? Because the do is very important. It's because either I presented well, or I thought, or I created, or something. That thing you did will uncover an ability that you already have within you. Let me give you my own context. I got into the marketing space back in 2007. I quit employment. I was like, my goodness, if I'm going to have a life, if I'm going to pursue my dreams, if I'm going to live from a place of fulfillment and feel like this is what I ought to do, I need to quit this job. And so I left employment and I went into, this business. I had already been speaking and training at that time, and I knew that training was my space for me. Matter of fact, I was leading a strategic leadership development arm in the church where I was, and we had trained about 300 leaders. But I just felt within me like, training is my life, but I'm not yet prepared for where I'm going. But as soon as I got into the market, I realized I can't start training now. I don't have the muscle required to get there. And so I said, what do I have within me? I said, I'm a creative. So I'm going to start an advertising agency. And I started an advertising agency, and I pioneered bus advertising in Kenya way back in 2007, 2008. Now, if you look back at what I did and how it succeeded, I didn't know at that time until I got into the process of what I'm sharing with you today, which was to really look back at my successes and say, what did I do there? I was innovative. I was creative. I came up with a new idea that we could have an advertising which is moving around in the streets. My initial idea was more expensive. It was going to come to about $140,000 and I didn't have that money, but I said, some people already own buses and someone owns a print house, and I have an idea I can talk to a client. Now, notice the fusion of my skills and abilities here and why I succeeded. I was a creative. I came up with a creative idea and I was like, I know how I'm going to make it happen. But also in addition to that, I was able to walk to the client and convince them to try these new advertising ventures. Like, what? Our brand on a bus moving up and about. What about when it rains, when it's muddy, when it's scratched, when there's an accident? All these things. But I was able to speak with a client and articulate what it is. And I got clients upon clients upon clients and upon clients, and the rest is history. I was creative. I was a communicator. I succeeded. Forget about that. Let's move further. I've tried many different ventures in business. At one point, I was in a network marketing company. I just got into the company. It just started out in Kenya, and we started moving. We were selling holiday stuff, and it was amazing. I went for the holidays. I went to Dubai. I went to the US. I met the founders. It was fantastic. But then the thing that I noticed is that in the whole process as I was going on, I noticed that I was kind of every other Saturday out in front of the crowd. I'm the guy who was there doing the presentation. I'm the guy who was rallying people and saying, guys, let's go. Let's get these targets. Let's move. And I started realizing, wait, I'm succeeding not so much because I'm passionate about this thing and it's an amazing idea. But I saw every time people were kind of pushing me to the front and say, why don't you do the presentation, Benjamin? Why don't you do the presentation, Benjamin? And I was succeeding because I was a communicator. And it was that at that point I was like, my goodness, I am living way below my capacity and ability. This is what I'm selling. This is what I'm engaged in. This is the business that I am in. But this is not my calling in life. This is not my purpose in life. And that is how my journey to discovering my purpose began. But it started from a point of knowing, who am I? Not what do I do? Who am I? So in different spaces, in your face advertising, I've been there, a creative communicator. From there, I've been in graphic design. People say, I want to say all these things on a flyer. And I say, okay, this is the word. Boom. I'm a creative communicator. I have other gifts as well. Synthesizing, breaking down complex information. That is also one of my gifts. And it powers me to excel. Then I also came into the space where I was in this network marketing company. right there, creative communicator. At one point, hustling, trying to get my way into life and paying my bills here and there. I was selling suits at one point. I was an amazing suit seller way back then. And I sold suits upon suits upon suits upon suits. I didn't even own the shop. I used to go to the guy and say, I need two suits, and I would mark up the price by what? Double the price, because I had a unique market and I knew what they wanted. They see me in suits every time. I was a creative communicator. I was able to just go out there and communicate. That is not going to change. In this role in my life right now where I am, speaking with you, coaching, training, being on stage, my communication abilities serve me best. And my creative abilities also serve me best. Crispin, it's good to see you. Thank you so much. And I want to tell you that even in the next phases of my life where I am going, my ability to communicate and to be creative will position me in very niche areas. There are places you will throw me and I will not succeed. But if those places require that I bring out my creative and communication abilities, no one will beat me to the game. I can guarantee you that. Now, this also means for you that you need to become clear. Clarity is very important. I like to say that clarity is not for boys. Mastery is not for boys. And mastery comes with clarity. As we become experts in a certain area, we are clear about the fundamentals, the basics, and we can dismount something and put it back up because we are clear about how all the components fit together. Clarity of who you are in terms of your abilities is very important. Now, let me escalate this conversation further, especially when I talk about purpose and about who you are and about how God created you. This is the thing. I said it yesterday. There is no creator who creates something and then denies the object of their creation the abilities for it to succeed or to function at the highest level. You can see every year manufacturers are trying to push it. They do BMW X1, X2, X3, X4, X5, X6. I don't know whether they'll do X7. But with every invention, even if it's a Premio what? Premio 2014, 2015, 2016, they're always pushing the mark. It's like, can it do better? Can it do better? Can it do better? And they have fitted within these objects of their creation all the abilities necessary for those things to succeed. What do we want? Less fuel consumption. What do we want? Airbags. What do we want? In case of an accident, people should survive. They put in all the abilities necessary for the object of their creation to survive. No one creates something and then laughs. It's like, look at it. It is failing. Never ever. We create something and we are excited to see it fly away. It's like, my goodness, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And we want to tell the whole world how much more our Creator God. He's wired us with gifts and abilities. And He wants to see us succeed. And so where should we begin? We should begin by identifying, what have I been given? What has been put within me? I am a concept, a creation of a creator, a creative God. What has He put within me? When He was in His creative element, what did He put within me? Abilities and talents. Because that's your thing. No one can take that stuff from you. It's already put in there. And so you need to become clear. Articulate it, my friend. Articulate it, my friend. And I tell you, as you articulate that, greater levels of awareness will come upon you as you're like, oh my goodness, so that's why I succeeded there. So that's why I'm succeeding here. And then you will know which gift to sharpen, what ability to get good at. And that you can now present yourself in other situations where you have more confidence. Because this is my thing. I can't help it. When I go for meetings and it's a barrio meeting, people don't have an MC, they just call me. I don't know, they just pick me out from the crowd even if they don't know me. But then I say, yeah, I normally don't do this, but I would do it. And when I show up, I excel. I'm not even afraid. I'm like, yeah, this is my stuff. I will win. What's your stuff? What's your gift and what's your ability? I like to think of this. You are a tool. You are a tool. And a tool, if you look at a knife, a fork, the phone that I'm using here, it is a tool designed, equipped with abilities to function in this area. What have you been equipped to function as? That's the key thing that I want you to think about and I want you to articulate very, very clearly. That's very important, okay? Now, how do you begin to identify what it is that you are good at? I've just said, print out your CV, go through your life history and see where was I? How did I succeed? Observe, look. What did I do well? And what made me do that well is the first thing that I want you to become very, very, very clear at, okay? That's very important. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to also begin to ask people. I call that listening outwardly. Jesus, sitting with his disciples in Luke 6:38, calls them and asks them, hey guys, who do men say that I am? It's not like Jesus was having an identity crisis, but he just wanted to know, what do people see me as? How do I come off to the people? When I serve them, when I'm interacting with them, what do they think I am? Am I what? A prophet or something? Am I? And he got the response. And so for you, you need to think about, what do people seek me out for? What do people call me for when they need something? You see, we are saved in people's memories as a solution to a problem. And therefore, when I'm having a leaking pipe, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of a plumber. Do I know a plumber? Plumber. I know plumber. I just go in and call the guy. And if I don't know, I'm going to call somebody who's my friend and say, do you have a friend who is a plumber? Do you know a guy who is an electrician? Some people go, hey, do you know someone who can speak at our event? Do you know a trainer? Do you know a speaker? Do you know a coach? Do you know a creative guy? They'll look for me. What do people seek you out for? Because what people seek you out for is how you rub them off with your gifts and abilities as you do what it is that you do. And so pay attention. It's good to know. People may be looking for you for the wrong thing. And it's good to know so that you can begin to reinvent yourself. So people look for you for the thing that you know how to do. Maybe you're coming from a past where you are working somewhere, maybe in the airport, and people keep calling you when they have airport problems, and that's not your area of expertise. You need to help people reinvent yourself and help people get you for the thing that you know how to do. And so look outwardly, listen outwardly. What do people tell me that I do well? When call your 10 friends and tell me, can you say, I'm doing an audit of myself. Can you tell me the things I do well? Can you tell me one thing that stands out in your mind as something that I've done for you and it has impacted you the most? Become eloquent in the conversation of who you are. Again, I say, who are you is not what you do. Who are you is who you are created to be. Is that okay? Very importantly, I want to just say something, and this is the thing that I want to say, is that we have become very fluent in the conversation of what we do. I told you I did a research and people kept telling me this is who, this is what, this is what. And it's because we've never been taught to get to this place where we are articulate about who we are and our abilities and our talents. Become fluent in who it is that you are. Your identity is important when it actually comes from you. You're the best definer of you. You're the best person to say, this is who I am, and this is what I do, and this is what I can deliver. This is what I can bring to the table. I can promise you this, and you deliver it at a high level. Friends, this has been so important in my life as I continue to grow. I can tell you my reinvention moment happened when I sat down. I was moving all over the place like a headless chicken. I was doing a training. I was running an advertising agency. I was doing some forex trading. I was selling something on the side. I think I had like 8 different businesses, and I had so many things to do and being very effective in none of them. I knew how to do videos. I knew how to play drums. I'm in ministry. I have like 1,000 things going on. And you know what happens in life? When people see you like you are all over the place, you do great and amazing stuff. Everything you touch kind of just turns to gold. Guess what? They keep calling you. And if you're not clear about your purpose, you quickly end up in other people's agenda, fulfilling their purpose and becoming a cog in their wheel. And there's no problem with that if that is what God has designed for you. But it has to come from a place of clarity, not a place of where people are misusing you. So be clear about what it is that you do well. So for me, I wrote out a manila paper and I said, I'm going to write down everything I do. I was like crying there. I was so tough. And I wrote out everything. And I said, what powers me to do this? And I wrote it down. What powers me to do this? Well, I said, wow, I didn't know it. There are 2 skills that power me to do all these things. I'm either doing this thing from a creative or this from a communicator. Identify what it is. So that's the key thing as far as identifying your purpose is concerned. We have to start from here. We have to start from identifying who are you. And I want you to take some time to really be clear about who you are. Who you are. Who you are. Who you are. Define that. Define that. You owe yourself that definition. Now, my question for you is this. What are your top 5 key skills or abilities? What are they? Go into your CV, look for them. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to find out that in every place you succeeded, as you go through your CV, you'll find that there's a skill that keeps popping up. For me, everywhere I looked at, communication, some aspect of communication kept popping up. That's needed here. That's needed here. And so as you do that, you're going to come up with something like a list of maybe 5, 6 different skills. Now you're going to see which is the one which appears the most, which is the one which has the highest number of hits. Here, repetition. Communicator, synthesizer. You begin to see more and more hits for a certain ability. That is your top ability. I want you to look at the hand like this, okay? If you're looking at my hand like this, you see, and even you can look at your hand, there's a finger which is taller than all the rest, okay? And for me, that is the middle finger right here, and I think also for you. You need to find out what your tallest finger is, because if you put this down like this, and you're probably putting it on top of a table, you realize that there is a finger that is deepest. It goes deep. It touches a place that no other fingers can touch. Yes, you have other skills, okay, that come close and they complement what those skills are. You need to find the deepest well. And that is where you begin to become the greatest person in that area. For me, communication is my deepest skill. It's the one that appears everywhere I am. If I'm going to succeed anywhere, I have to use my communication ability. Find out what is that unique gift skill that you have, which is appearing everywhere. It's your deepest skill. That will bring you the greatest success. Yes, there are those that come close, but they still don't meet this one. What is your deepest skill? Identify it. Now, in the road to purpose, we need to identify what your skill is so that we can now move to the next level, which is identifying and defining what that skill means. Now we are getting into the doorways and hallways of purpose. What does that mean? God, why did you make me creative? Next, we'll spend some time looking at the significance of your strength. If you do not identify your strength, what is going to happen? Wow, thank you, Salome, for your comments there. I see that. Thank you so much. I want to be very clear as we go tomorrow that we're going to talk about the significance of your strength. There's a very nice story that I know we read back in Sunday school. It was about Samson and Delilah. The significance of your strength. I'm going to tell you 4 things that will happen to you if you do not know why you are strong in a certain area. If I don't know why I'm a creative communicator, I'll tell you 4 things that will happen to you. You want to hear this. This is dangerous if you do not know the significance of your strength. Samson was strong, but he didn't know why. And I'll give you 4 key things that will happen to you if you do not know the significance of your strength. I've been Kamoya Benjamin live on Facebook, 21 Days of Purpose and Leadership. You know what? I've just had my breakfast. This is amazing stuff. I'm loving this. And thank you so much. Now, a quick one. I've created a Facebook group. It's called 21 Days of Purpose and Leadership. And it's because I realized while we're meeting here and we're connecting and we go our separate ways, some of you don't even know, like, where am I going to get some extra content, some extra material? I want to share with you resources, stuff that I've worked on in the past. And there's some stuff that I have actually that helps you go deep into identifying your key skill. I want to put that material in the 21 Days of Purpose and Leadership. It's a Facebook group. Just search there, 21 Days of Purpose and Leadership, and then request to join. I will approve the request. You go there, ask me questions, anything about what we've talked about yesterday and today, and even others. But also access files, download worksheets, download a video. I've done a video. I was selling this video, and you know, if you go to kamoya.com/courses, you know this video is going for $15. But I'm going to make available a portion of that video for you at no cost, so that you can actually see the practical of what I went through to identify my purpose. I put it out there. I tell you, this is about my story and how you can also identify your purpose. I'm bearing it all out. It's been 21 Days of Purpose and Leadership. Day 3 tomorrow. Blessings. And hey, you can know what God made you for. Don't settle for less. There is more. Out.